Today I wanted to share with you the progress of my 100 days of random things. These are the random objects I'm using for days 11 through 20. So this is number 11 and I painted this with you. So if you want to see me paint this, just look in my video channel and you'll see it. It says day 11 on it. This is day 12. This is day 13, a little compass. This is day 14, a little snail. This is day 15, a little charm. This leaf is number 16. Look at all those holes. Isn't it fantastic? 17 is the magnifying glass. 18 is these little tags. 19 is this little branch of tiny leaves. I love the color of that. Number 20 is a piece of art. So I liked the size of this card and then I just created art around it. I wanted to share all the objects first so you can see how they've come together as a story. As we head into the Journal of Random Things, again, I am using an A5 Brighton of Sea White concertina book, and I absolutely am loving it. I love that it's a continuation of the story. I'm using a certain palette here. These are the colors that it creates. It's my 18 updated studio palette. You can find videos on that as well. There is a playlist for the 100 days of random things. So this is how my journey started. Just 100 days of random things. This was day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4 is the pencil and the little circle. Day 5 is the bird. Day 6 is the beehive. Day 7 is this vintage swatches. Day 8 is this giant leaf shape here. Day 9 is this little charm with the word stories, which is my word for the year. And day 10 is this little bitty die up there. So from there, I needed something that was a little softer. I like this color, so that's where I did day 11, and that's the one I painted with you here on YouTube. From there, it went to day 12. I knew I wanted these overlapping, and it says 29 because this was a leap year. I love when leap year happens, so it's the 29th of February, and I just had to make it green because it automatically makes me think of Ireland and the movie Leap Year, but it also makes me think of a frog jumping. So I knew I wanted it green, and I wanted the 29 there to remind me. I didn't want to write like leap year or anything like that, but I did definitely want to remember that. And then 13, I knew I kind of wanted a big circle here. The reason why, I liked the impact of how much space that took. You know, it's quite large. The page goes from here to here and it almost eats up the whole page. So I was like, well, what can I put on this page to fill space, but not fill it the same way this does? This fills it with color and form and movement. But over here, I thought this would be kind of nice to just give it somewhere to rest. And when I had the circle drawn, I was like, what can I put there? At first I was trying like a pencil lead here, trying a marker, a paintbrush, all kinds of things. And then I remembered that I had a little school compass, just a little one like this. And I was like, oh, that would look kind of cool. And when I laid it like that, I really loved the angle of it. I like that it was angular because so far I haven't really had anything angular except for these leaves and my big leaf to start. And let me show you that. So this was angular, but everything else is kind of straight, straight, straight. And then we've got these leaves that are angular. So I really liked that this kind of coordinated with this in coloration, but it also added a whole little element of angledness in my journal. And from 13, so 13 is the giant circle and the compass. And then 14 is the little snail. And you'll notice that I didn't do the white snail. This is what I have. But when I put him there like this, he didn't make much of an impact. And one of the colors that I was really excited about on my new list was Da Vinci Alizarin Gold, which is this color right here. I like how it's kind of a corally red, so I really wanted to play with that. And how I did that was I wet the space first, and then I dropped some alizarin gold into it. And then for the body, I mixed that and a little bit of hematite to make it just a little bit darker. But I love the juxtaposition of that. I think it gives him a lot of weight. It makes him really important on this page because he's around all these kind of duller colors, yet it continues this story a little bit here. It's a little bit duller, but I like the way that, so you can see that. I like the way they kind of form together because it's like all these are kind of pointing that way. So I want you to kind of look at that, then up here and then across that way. That's how my design kind of goes. And I thought it balanced really nicely with these two muted colors, and it gave an important placement of that circle. So it made him like the center of the circle, and I really, really enjoyed that. I thought it was nice that it's kind of a circle here, a circle here, a circle here, and then I've got all these little circles here. So I liked what that did. It seemed very organic and moving, right? There was a lot of moving with the circles. So from there, this is number 15, and that is the charm. And you'll notice that I didn't do it white and black. I wanted the spots to be white. I didn't want you to see the spots first like you do here. And so I picked a dark color. It's called Artemis, which is the dark purple. And I wanted to connect purple because I have purple here, a little bit of purple on her flower. The acorn is Artemis and hematite, which is really quite dark. And so this ties it all in. So I've got 3 little purples so far. And I like the way that this looked. And at first I just had the charm sitting here, and I was like, what if I drew a straight line up to the compass so it looks like it's kind of hanging up there? I don't know if you can see that. And I like what the straight line did to that. It just kind of took all this roundness from this page, and this page, and it added a straight line, just like this was a straight line. That added another straight line here. But you notice this. It's not till you really look do you see that tall line there. And from there, I was like, okay, I need to do something organic. So organic to me is very naturey. So it's either leaves or acorns or bark or lichen, whatever I find outside. That's how I look at an organic element, because this is very much man-made, right? We've got paper, we've got compasses, we've got charms. So I wanted to go back to nature, and I went out walking and found this really nasty leaf, which you know I love. I love the holes, I love the brokenness of it. Look at that little split right there. There's a little split here, but I just really liked the shape of it and thought that was kind of fun. So when I added it this way, I really liked it. I tried putting it here. I tried putting it like up down here, creating kind of a V shape, and I didn't like it as much. And when I just put it there, I was like, yes, that looks nice. And what that also did was break up that other line up here. So I thought that was nice. And I decided to go with this same coloration, but this darker version in here. See that little baby leaf right there? And a little bit on this edge. So I decided to pick up those colors and make this leaf so that you have flow here to here to here, and then it will drop down. So that's how I picked that color. So that was number 16. And then number 17 is the magnifying glass. However, I had to paint 17, 18, and 19 all together, because with the magnifying glass, I wanted it to be underneath, showing what was underneath, which was the leaves and the little tag. And you can see here that the tag on the outside, that's the actual size, and that's the blown up inside the magnifying glass. You can see these leaves are a little smaller up through the magnifying glass, they're bigger. I also included the little darkness of the background being in shadow from the magnifying glass. So you see if I put the magnifying glass on there, see how it tones the paper a little differently? And do you notice the little bright light here? And there's a little bright space up there with that light. So I wanted to connect those spaces, and that's why those are brighter in there. So I concentrated on the little lens first, that area, and I based everything or got them all to the initial washes. But then on 18, I did the tag details, and then on 19, I did all of these leaves. But I really liked it, and I really like the darkness of this handle. So far, this is the darkest piece in the whole book. Let me run through that with you. So you can see he's probably the darkest right here, the little feet and the bottom of him, so more like a Payne's gray. And then we had kind of a dark purple here. But then on this, I really got a glorious kind of red brown, and I really like that color. That is, it's alizarin gold and hematite violet. And I love that coloration. So when I did that, they were all little, again, this is little tiny things. And I wanted a big statement piece. I needed something big, not real heavy, because I like the delicateness of this piece of branch here. But I also wanted something that would take up a little bit more space, kind of like this guy did. You know, he took up quite a bit of space, almost a whole page. I liked what the big circle here did, so I knew I needed something big here. And when I put the postcard down, I was like, yes, that's a nice shape. So I actually just traced around the postcard, and then I created a little bit of art in there. In lines, I was looking for lines, texture, color, and I added the word curiosity. That's my favorite word. But I wanted it to be a little softer in colors. By that I used peach. I used this like Davies gray and mint green. This I used the tundra, which is the same color as this, so that I would have that green in another place. The Davies gray that I used up here was what I used in the background of this. So you can see I'm kind of telling a color story in this area. I didn't want to introduce too many colors, but I did want them to kind of connect with all of these. You'll notice the leaves are yellow because the pencil's yellow, and I didn't have anything else yellow on this page. So I knew I needed a little bit of yellow here. And that's how I chose the colors. So far, this is going really great. I am every day looking forward to, like, what can I pull out? What do I want to add next? And I try to pull out 4 or 5 things before I start drawing. That way I kind of know what I want the flow to be. It's helping me plan a little better because I want this to be a continuous story. Now I'm going to share the whole book again so you can see what I mean by a continuous story. See how one page kind of morphs into the next? It just lends itself. And I think that is why I'm loving this journey so far. It's a visual story that I get to play with every single day. I can't think of anything more perfect for the stage that I'm at right now in my art. If you were inspired by my journey of the 100 days of random things, please like, comment, or subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching.